Well, hello, and more Sunday hello to all you wisdom walkers out there. This is Jojo Maria and Taroma coming to you with the astrology for self mastery for the first half of September. Wow, wow, wow. How did we get here? It seems like August just went flip. Sometimes it was much longer, but here we are opening up to the fall. And yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. There's a lot going on. And when I was preparing this video, uh, I thought, oh, okay, there's only nine aspects. I can handle that. But there were a couple of them that have much more information associated with them than what I thought. And I took like, oh my God, I think it was 2.5 days of doing research because the astrologers are talking this stuff, right? So there's more written about things than what I had anticipated. And I was like, oh my goodness. But the universe is great, and I have siphoned it down to it's probably going to take about an hour to get through this. I don't know. No, it might not take that long. And it doesn't matter. The main thing is that you get the information you need to be able to navigate through this really incredible time that we are living in. Also, for my regular viewers and listeners, you'll notice that I've changed up my regular timing, because usually the first Sunday of the month is the elemental wisdom. But I did that on Thursday, and you can find it on my YouTube or my website, Wisdom Walk to Self Mastery. And because today we're having the eclipse, I knew I needed to get this information out to you today. Yeah. So, and then next week I'll do the second part of the astrology. And then the third Sunday, I'll be back on schedule and I will do the Wisdom Walk talk where we'll be talking about reclaiming your truth. But for right now, let's get on with this wonderful information, important information about September. So I'll start off with the quotes that I found. The first one, September 2025, wild surrender and sacred refinement. Welcome to September, a month gilded with surprises. The atmosphere carries both weight and artistry, where timelines collapse. Eclipses expedite necessary change, which means life will move quickly and with consequence. The month is defined by a tapestry of movements. Saturn retracing its steps, Mercury and Venus reshaping the landscape of thought and desire. Mars moving with momentum and intimate cosmic moments, rewriting cosmic arts. Wow. September invites you to redefine your priorities, release what doesn't matter, and create space for harmony to exist both personally and collectively. And that's from Raquel Reyes on astrology.com for September. And then this is my go to astrology reader. His name is Philip Young. I really encourage you, if you want a really good read, a thorough read of your birth chart that includes not just two dimensionality, but three and fourth dimensionality information. Philip Young is amazing. He's also a tarot reader. And yes, he does have a PhD. And Philip says September calls for patience, honesty, and recalibration, reminding us that true progress comes through reflection and realignment. Yeah. And Philip also has a YouTube channel called Philip Young PhD. And if you want to go a little more deeply, especially like if you are familiar with your birth chart, he's really great for that. Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to keep reminding you about this incredible and powerful aspect, the conjunction between Saturn and Neptune, both in Aries, coming up to its perfect combination in February of 2026, but now we're in what's called the balsamic phase. So these two are coming together. And again, the message here is that of dissolving structures and systems that no longer hold significance, that are no longer purposeful, and aligning with the new that is coming in for this next chapter of our lives. And folks, this has been the big message, the ongoing message since before 2025. It's like the new is coming. You got to let go of the past. You got to open up to the new. You got to stop trying to work your plans from 10 years ago, a year ago, right now. And you really have to be present and able to respond creatively to what is going on, because there's just so much change, as we know. It's just really crazy right now. So, having said that, let me share with you the impact days. These are days where there is more than one aspect happening, or an aspect that is going to be very jolting, or, you'll feel the energetic of it. And so for the first half of 2025, it is going to be the 1st, the 5th, the 7th, that's today, the 12th, and the 13th. Then for the last half, yeah, we got a lot. The 18th, the 20th, the 21st, to the 22nd, and the 23rd into the 24th. In fact, I could have just said that whole week. It's going to be very impactful. Yeah. So you can write those down or just make note of, okay, impact days. So yeah, let me stay cool, calm, and collective. Also, we're still in Virgo season, gathering our harvest from the previous months and really focusing on what we want to return to, continue working on. This is a back to school time, of course. And yeah, it's also a time to be mindful of our health and to do what we need to do to get back into good balance if we've been splurging over the summer months, or if you're living in the southern hemisphere, it is a time to get yourself prepared for the warmer weather that is coming. Oh, shit. So let's go back to Monday, September 1st, and we're going to have one aspect every day this week leading up to this eclipse. And so the aspect on Monday involves Saturn. And I wanted to take a moment just to remind you, or for some of you, introduce you to what Saturn transits are about, because this is important. Saturn, again, is going to be, you know, um, conjuncting with Neptune, and Neptune, I think, is easier for people to remember, but I know I always sometimes have a problem with, what is Saturn again? Is it like Jupiter? What's going on? So here's the thing about Saturn. Saturn is the marker of our maturation cycles. And you may have heard about the Saturn return, and that's what this is talking about. Every 29, 30 years, 28 to 30 years, you're going to get initiated into this next part of your journey. I call it the new lifetime. So he's named after the Lord of time and karma. Saturn has to do with the process of aging or growing, the passing of time, and the journey of learning to trust our inner authority instead of relying on external ones. In astrology, Saturn's transits are key markers, of our maturation cycles. They are a time when we are asked to grow up and face reality as it is, rather than as we would how we would like it to be. Yeah, this is like a come to Jesus meeting. And traditionally ruling both Capricorn and Aquarius, Saturn governs the law of cause and effect and reminds us that every action has a consequence, whether you experience right away or if it takes a couple of years or a couple of months. And that reminds us that we have to be patient. Saturn teaches us to be patient, to work consistently, to be accountable for the decisions we make, and to take full responsibility for ourselves. Saturn needs 29.5 years to travel through the entire zodiac wheel and spends roughly 2.5 years in each sign. During these 2.5 years, we are being asked to develop a more mature relationship with the sign where he is transiting and grow out of the more unconscious aspects of that archetype. Saturn in Aries has asked us and will ask us to develop a more mature relationship with conflict, self assertion, frustration, and anger. It will ask us to deepen our awareness of how we express masculine energy, regardless of our gender, and recognize where we may overcompensate for our insecurities and fears through an excessive use of force, domination, and aggression. Wow. Isn't that synchronistic and aligning with kind of the struggles that are going on, especially here in the United States? So back to that every 2 years. So to go around the wheel, that means that wherever Saturn was in your chart when you were born, 29.5 years later, and usually because it's a slow moving planet, you feel those energies sooner than that. So I usually say between the ages of about 28 to 31, you're going to be experiencing where Saturn was when you were born. And so that now you grow forward out of whatever that energy was at that time. So that's what's meant by the Saturn return. So it happens, of course, around the 30s. That's why we consider the 30s to be a time of change for people. You're no longer in your 20s, you're in your 30s now, grow up. And then it happens again when we're 60. And that's a time for, okay, we've been all that doing and having up until that time. And now we start to move into it's time to really, really be about who you are. What are you being? How are you being? Where are you being? And to really grow into our elder state. If we're lucky, a lot of us could have another Saturn return when we're in our 90s, early 90s. And yeah, I don't know anybody else that would get a fourth one, but usually you can get at least three of them. And again, it is these times of initiation, of growing and going beyond. So I wanted to share all of that with you because this first aspect is about Saturn retrograding back into Pisces. Yeah. So, although the Saturn retrograde began on July 13th when it was in Aries, it now continues the remainder of its retrograde in Pisces until November the 27th, then remains in Pisces. It'll go forward in Pisces until February of 2026. As we enter this extended retrograde in dreamy Pisces, it may feel as though we're living in a fantasy world. This period invites us to look inward and recognize what might be holding us back. Embrace this opportunity to see life through rose colored glasses and strive for the stars. Yeah. So it's this energy of let's grow out of believing that we can't have what it is we really desire. So, for all of the crazy that's going on in the world, to me, this energy is coming through to say, don't despair. Don't think they've won. Don't think that totalitarianism is how people on the planet are going to exist in every country. No, no, no. We're all moving toward life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. People have bled and died for that. We all want that. We all want that. So this energy is saying if you're feeling any kind of fear or despair or, I might as well run away, give it up. No. Go in and see what's blocking you. What's blocking you from believing that things are really going to shift into a new earth consciousness where we really are going to be able to come together and respond to the earth changes that are going on as a collective. Yeah. So here's some more message about the Saturn being in Pisces for you. Although the Saturn retrograde began on July 13th, oh, I'm sorry. Next slide. Next slide. Here we go. There it is. This is about what we're being invited to do. As Saturn returns to Pisces to complete his transit, the invitation for us is to focus on our spiritual and emotional maturation journey and address tendencies that cause us to get lost in spiritual bypassing, escapism, addictive behaviors, and victim mentality. Mhm. This is a time to cultivate emotional resilience and spiritual discipline and recognize where we might have been avoiding responsibility, deceiving ourselves, or lacking discernment. Saturn in Pisces is an invitation to acknowledge our limitations, fears, and insecurities with compassion, yet without turning away from discomfort. Because when you got to look at your stuff, yeah, it's going to be disruptive, definitely. Collectively, this period reopens questions about spiritual accountability, addiction, and the systems we lean on. In your personal life, it will become clear where you've been avoidant or escapist. Saturn's return to Pisces is an invitation to dissolve rigidity while embracing assertiveness. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, that's a big one. And I love it. It's just like so super clear. So super clear. Hey, Daphne. Daphne says life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Yes, remember that. That's what we're really all here about. So important at this time. That's why we came into the earth plane at this time. We want to make sure this is secured for the seventh generation that comes after us. Absolutely. So, again, letting go of that rigidity and moving to embracing assertiveness, which has to do with setting your boundaries. Got to set those boundaries so that what? Yeah, that you're not a victim to life and to the world. Very, very important. Yeah, my great nephew can give you a story about that. Right, Adrian? Love it. Okay, let's move on here. And we're going to jump to Tuesday, September the 2nd. And on this day, our aspect has to do with Mercury. So here's a little reminder about who Mercury is. Mercury, also called Hermes, is a messenger of the gods, the only deity who could travel from the underworld to Olympus and back, delivering important news wherever it was needed. We have the same spirit of movement and communication whenever Mercury is activated, meaning we can go from our lower timeline, our lower selves, up to our higher timeline. Yes, get the good message that we need to bring back when we're dealing with 3D insanity. Think of this like newspaper delivery kids zipping through the neighborhood on their bikes, tossing the latest updates onto doorsteps. Or in today's world, like Instagram or TikTok reels, with fresh content appearing in mobile feeds every second. That's Mercury. Mercury is all about swift movement, rapid delivery, and connecting information to where it needs to go. On September the 2nd, 2025, Mercury enters its favorite sign, which is Virgo. Mercury moves quickly here, spending just 17 days in the sign. Yes. Mhm. And let me give a little more shout out. Daphne saying, yeah, not a victim to life, big for me, right? Exactly. That's what this energy wants us to move out of. Hey, Q. She puts a little smiley face there for me. Know she's listening. Thanks for being here. Love you. And my voice is getting dry. Like I told you all, this is a lot. This is a lot. Because, we usually don't be thinking about Mercury like this, right? Like, oh, Mercury retrograde, things are slowed down, nothing's moving. And this is quite the opposite. Like when he's going forward, it's like, and it's always coming, it's always coming, it's always coming. A lot of times when I'm coaching people, I have to remind them of that. I have to remind them that, even right now, you're receiving support. You're receiving information, you're receiving solutions and resolutions. But you got to slow down, you got to get still so that you can hear it. But don't act like the universe ain't always working for you because it is. It really is. So this is like really really cool stuff. Hi, Nina. So beautiful. She sent me some hearts and some prayer hands. I love it. Q said, kicking my butt, but I'm good. Yeah, girl, I understand. You're not alone. You are not alone. Let me tell you, sister, it is on right now. Wait till I start talking about this eclipse. I'm getting there, folks, but you see what this is all leading up to it. So it's very important. But to have this better understanding, fuller understanding about Mercury is really important, especially right now. Okay. Because it seems like, there's so much confusion and so much crazy going on. It's like, God, really? Really? And what is happening is that we're being delivered information, ideas, understanding, revelations, awakenings in regards to how to keep moving forward, how to get beyond this, breakdown that has to happen. Because unless you get a breakdown, you're going to get a breakthrough and you're not going to get a break open so that you can move forward. So we're going through the breakdown, but this doesn't mean this is how it's going to be. No, this is a process that we are moving through. Remember that. Yeah. So I give you all that about Mercury as that messenger, things moving quickly, because on the 3rd, we had Mercury entering Virgo, his favorite sign. Mercury in Virgo is the only placement where a planet is both in domicile, meaning its home sign, and exaltation. It's like so happy. This means that Mercury feels very good in Virgo and gets to do what Mercury does best: think, analyze, organize, articulate, communicate. And considering that thinking and communication, Mercury, are so important in our everyday life, this transit is good news for everyone. This is our opportunity to sort out loose ends, solve communication problems, and figure things out that we can figure out, because we can't figure a lot of this out. If you want to set up your website or write that book, now is the time. So again, this communication energy is on, it's happening. And Virgo, Virgo love being organized. Like they just love that stuff. So here's some messages for you. In Virgo, this is from Astro Butterfly, the sign of both its domicile and exaltation, Mercury's function is at its absolute peak. Here, Mercury can do what it does best, unhindered. The weather is perfect. There's no traffic jams, so the messenger can reach every neighborhood on the route. Mercury will be clearing the Virgo solar eclipse path on September 21st, delivering all the information you need, including those last minute details or missing puzzle pieces at lightning speed. The downside: when everything happens fast, there's barely time to absorb the lessons. On the bright side, whatever he has felt stagnant or sluggish in your life will suddenly get a huge burst of momentum. Wow. Wow. And those who are familiar with me, I'm always quoting Astro Butterfly. She's a girl. She's wonderful. She's genius. www.astrobutterfly.com for her blogs, and also to get information about joining her platform, which is called The Age of Aquarius, of which I am a member. So cool. Second message: with Mercury returning to its home sign, everything sharpens. Communication, commitments, and plans take on crystalline clarity. This meticulous energy favors writers, students, healers, and anyone willing to apply discernment. Decisions made under Mercury in Virgo tend to stick because Mercury's meticulous touch eliminates excess and reveals the clean lines of truth. Oh my God, isn't that just a delicious phrase? The clean lines of truth. We ain't talking no fake news here. Mercury's presence here offers a rare gift for the next few weeks: devotion without mental clutter. Imagine that. Mercury's ingress in Virgo, its Earth domicile, is an invitation to engage in self analysis, deepen our self observation, and pay more attention to how our bodies communicate with us. Folks, I can't stress to you enough how important that is. You know, when I was in my 30s, moving into my 60s, in that 30-year period, I never listened to my body. You know, my body would say, "I'm tired." Yeah, right. Go take a break then. I'm going out. I'm going here. I'm going there. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. You know, I was just my superwoman mode. And now I'm paying for it. Now I am paying for it. So you don't have to do that to yourselves, young folks, younger folks, and even for those who are in my age bracket. We really need to listen to our bodies, especially now. There is, and again, Mercury and Virgo, that's what it's talking about. It's like your body wants to talk to you. Listen to it. There are diseases that you can avoid, chronic diseases, if you just listen to your body and don't ignore the reactions it has to something you eat, not only something you eat or drink, but to a place that you put yourself. And I know there's those of you out there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know when you're in the wrong environment, and whether that's work, a friend's house, or a former friend's house, or whatever, you know what I'm talking about. We have to listen to our bodies. So I just want to take a moment to stress that because, and do I have to talk about this? I'm not. But I'm just going to say we know that the health of American citizens, which puts everybody else on the planet at risk, is really, really under attack right now. And so to stay healthy during this wave of insanity, you know, that's what it is. It's not going to last, but it is happening. To keep yourself healthy through these times, you are going to have to listen to your body. You're going to have to trust it. You gotta trust it. Yeah, absolutely. Juanita says, yeah, and the wrong people. Exactly. Exactly. This is definitely time for discernment to come into play. Absolutely. So yeah, folks, please listen to your body and trust science safety, you know, not made up safety, but what science tells us about microorganisms. It's real. So now on Wednesday, September the 3rd, and I apologize, before I said the 3rd, it was the 2nd. That was just on the 2nd when Mercury's doing his thing. But on Wednesday the 3rd, we get Virgo, Mercury in Virgo squaring Uranus in Gemini. And you know, anytime you get a square, it is some tight energy. This aspect may bring some nervous tension today, as unexpected changes in plans can leave us feeling unsettled. Remember, too much excitement isn't always beneficial, meaning don't be addicted to the drama, trauma, rama stuff on melodrama going on around you. Absolutely. When a tight energy is showing up, and again, this happened a couple of days ago, you really want to give yourself permission to chill out. And if you can delay something, delay it. If you can avoid something, avoid it. If you can just go in, be still, you know. And if you can, if you have to go out and you have to mingle, just make sure to carve out even 15 minutes of just getting still and practicing your breathing, where you're just feeling your body, taking the breath in and letting the breath out, feeling God breathing you. Yeah, connecting with a greater source. It will be very helpful because square days are, yeah, and especially right now with everything that's going on. So, so that was on Wednesday. Then we get to Thursday, September the 4th. And we had another square. Yeah, this time it is Mars in Libra squaring Jupiter in Cancer. Yeah. Avoid making impulsive decisions today as they might not lead to the best outcomes. Quick actions can result in negative consequences, so stay wise. So, again, even though it's Jupiter in Cancer, which is a lovely aspect that'll be with us for a whole year, it's a square. It's still a square. And Mars in Virgo is very much about relationships. So, I mean, in not Virgo, in Libra is very much about relationships. So, yeah, chill pill. Now we get to Friday, the 5th. And this is the one, folks, that I thought, okay, one slide, that'll do it. But no, I had to create three because this is about Uranus going retrograde in Gemini. And if you remember, it was a big deal about Gemini moving. I'm sorry, it was a big deal about Uranus moving out of Taurus after how long? Yeah, 14 years, moving out of Taurus and going into Gemini. And so it just went into Gemini, but it also now has gone retrograde. So Uranus will retrograde in Gemini from September the 5th until November the 7th, when it will dip back into Taurus before re-entering Gemini for the long haul on April 25th, 2026. So that's a big time for it to be gone back into Taurus. And again, it will be moving forward in Taurus, but it won't be until April that it really goes back into Gemini. So again, what does this all mean? When Uranus retrogrades, it surprises and innovations turn inward, rewiring perception before manifesting outwardly. Yeah, so this is a period to make sure we remember that things happen from the inside out. The change is going to come from the inside out. What does that mean? That means, what are we believing about ourselves? What are we praying for? What are we creating? Yeah. How are our ideas? How's our vibration? Are frequencies high or low? The higher your frequency, the more things that you really desire can show up. When we're And let me take a moment to show you, when we're like this, when we're all balled up because we're anxious and we're like crazy and pulling our hair out and stuff, the universe can't bring anything in. So this is saying, go in, be still, be open. You can do a daily practice of that, even if it's just for 5 minutes, to let yourself receive what needs to shift for you to experience something different than the way things are now. Yeah. Yeah. It's really powerful. It's really powerful. This retrograde encourages us to revisit our ideas and visions and maybe consider whether they can be applied practically. In Gemini, Uranus retrograde challenges us to revolutionize our thinking habits, question our assumptions, and explore unfamiliar perspectives as we reflect on the past to give shape to the future. Yeah, very important. So again, we're getting this time to again sort things out. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. So here's another message. On September 5th through the 6th, 2025, Uranus freshly ingressed into Gemini, meaning it just got in Gemini, turns retrograde at 1 degree of the sign. And the signs usually go through 29 degrees before they shift into another one. This station is a light bulb moment about where we are right now in this new Gemini reality and where we might have rushed ahead or skipped steps in our eagerness to embrace change. At the time of the station, Uranus is tightly trining Pluto in Aquarius, and a tri is flow energy. That's a sense of fatedness in the air, a feeling that the forces are at work, that the feeling that the forces that are at work are bigger than us. And it's the right kind of fatedness. We feel we're in the right place at the right time. And even if the path forward is not entirely clear, there's a quiet confidence that the universe is on our side and that things will eventually work out. Isn't that just lovely? That's what we need to hear. That's what we need to believe. The universe really is working for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's really, because that's a cosmic law. Yeah, it's real. It's true. So just know that this time that we're in with the Uranus retrograde and it moving back into Taurus is, designed to really help us really clear out any doubts, any despair, so that we really can move forward. Absolutely. Here's the second part of the message. That one was from Astro Butterfly. This is from the astrologer Tamiri, who I've quoted before. Uranus's entrance into Gemini retrograde in September will have a huge impact on us both socially and personally. The area of life ruled by Gemini in your birth chart is where you may experience a swift change in direction, putting an event, relationship, or circumstance that bloomed this summer on pause or on a different path. This can feel exciting, liberating, terrifying, or all three, but lean into the unknown and let Uranus bring revolution and evolution where it's most needed in your life at this time. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Just thinking about that, right? Where revolution and evolution are needed in your life at this time. So powerful. Yeah. Yeah. So to all of those who have the sun, born with the sun in Gemini, you're being called to another level of leadership, you know. And if you're like me with a Gemini rising, yeah, that's also about, what you're being called to do, who you're being called to be at this time in human evolution. Yeah. Big, big changes. And with Mercury doing its thing fast, yeah, it's big stuff. So, drum roll, here we go to today, Sunday, September the 7th. We have two aspects. And Daphne said she has a Gemini moon. Yeah, that's really powerful, sweetie. That's really powerful. All about those emotions, revolutionizing them. Ah, so today we have the full moon in Pisces. So I'm going to give you some of that before I get into the blood moon lunar eclipse stuff, but I'm going to give you what that all means too. But let's start off with the First Nations call this moon for September, which is the corn moon. And here's the spiritual meaning. This time of year, late summer into early fall in the Northern Hemisphere, corresponds with the time of harvesting corn in much of the northern United States. For this reason, a number of First Nations peoples traditionally use some variation of the name corn moon to refer to the moon of either August or September. The 2025 corn moon, a spiritual time of harvest, abundance, and gratitude, calls for reflection, release, and renewal as the year's cycles culminate. Its spiritual meaning focuses on gathering the fruits of your efforts, both literal and metaphorical, and clearing away what no longer serves you to prepare for new growth. Again, this is a repeating message for us this year. You can connect to its energy by celebrating successes, practicing gratitude, releasing fears, and synchronizing with natural rhythms. Yeah. Like when the sun goes down, I need to wind down and start getting myself ready to get horizontal and go to bed. So that's why it's called the corn moon. Next, let me just talk about what a total lunar eclipse is. A lunar eclipse occurs when the Earth is directly between the sun and the moon. That is only possible during a full moon. A couple of times each year, the rough alignment of Sun, Earth, Moon becomes exact, and the moon travels through Earth's dark shadow in space. This is a lunar eclipse when Earth's shadows darkens the moon. Now, a total lunar eclipse, the moon passes through Earth's umbra, which is its dark inner shadow, and its surface glows a coppery red color as sunlight filters through Earth's atmosphere. That's the blood moon. And so this occurred today. It began at 10:08 a.m. Eastern Time and lasted 5 hours and 27 minutes in total. Although the blood moon part totality lasted about 1 hour and 22 minutes. So if you were feeling a little wonky today or whatever, that's what's going on. Now we can't see the blood moon here in the northern hemisphere in the United States because it would be below the horizon at that time. You'd have to be over in Europe, parts of Europe and Africa, in order to bear witness to it. Yeah. So this is what's going on today. We have the corn moon. We have this total lunar eclipse. It's also a north node eclipse, which I'll talk about. And as it says here, total eclipses are the most intense and life-changing types of eclipses. Whatever happens around this eclipse, it is meant to be. There's nothing to fear. Be open to whatever comes. Yeah, very, very powerful energy. I know I'm feeling it. So here we go with the full moon in Pisces, total lunar eclipse. Full moon in Pisces and total lunar eclipse is Sunday, September the 7th at 10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Known as the blood moon for its red hue during the eclipse, this moon is a powerful gateway to clearing the path of old patterns and karmic debris. Think of this full moon time as a giant clean out, much like a flash flood, immensely powerful in its ability to scour out the dead wood and accumulated debris. It is best not to resist, but to work with whatever is coming up proactively, making wise choices, setting new boundaries, and being responsible for organizing the flow of energy in ways that serve you better. And this is from Lena Stevens, who does the Power Path, and it's from her monthly astrology forecast. Really cool. So again, folks, you can hear that message about things being cleaned out, things being cleaned out. Yeah. The Pisces lunar eclipse rises on September 7th, revealing secrets, closing chapters, and challenging routines. A fog descends upon the collective, challenging the structures we once considered reliable. As systems, relationships, and perspectives break down, there will be opportunities to improve broken situations and reimagine what is possible. Closing play a large part in any full moon, but the eclipse energy present could, excuse me, but the eclipse energy present could cause endings to feel quite sudden. Luckily, as shock subsides, an intense sense of peace is sure to settle in. Hold on to that. Hold on to that line. An intense sense of peace is sure to settle in. Don't bother grasping at the air once something or someone has left your life, opting to slow down and observe your new reality instead. Stillness can be a huge advantage when the path ahead is clouded. And that's from Renee Watt, an astrologer with astrology.com. Wow. Powerful, powerful stuff. What can I say? Here we go. Now, here's the North Node information. The Pisces lunar eclipse is also a North Node eclipse. Both North and South Node eclipses are connected with our life purpose, but there's a subtle difference. With South Node eclipses are more about releasing old patterns or karma. North Node eclipses are about creating new possibilities. Wow. Eclipses. When the sun and the moon conjoin the nodes, are activation points for the axis they occupy, asking us to focus imbalances and integrate the missing pieces. The lunar nodes on the Virgo Pisces axis are asking us to sort out the balance between our worldly duties and our higher purpose once and for all. Now, for some of you who don't know what the nodes are, let me say that. I've explained it before. I apologize. I should have brought a little slide to explain them, just in case. Anyway, when you have an eclipse, as it says here, they call how the lining up of the moon, the earth, and the sun. There's an imaginary point, like if you can hang them all from a string, okay? That line is what we call a node. And there's one at the north and there's one at the south. And ancient astrologers began to see these markings as portals. And they've ascribed to the northern portal, the north node. This is where we get access to our future, what it is that we're going into. The south node carries the energies for the past. What is it in our past, in our historic past, in our ancestral past, that is to be addressed in our lifetime? Okay. So it's a little bit about the nodes. It can be hard to understand, but it's okay because, again, what she's talking about here is how this north node in Pisces, the south pole is in Virgo. And so we're going to have an eclipse in Virgo. It'll be a solar eclipse on September 21st. So these 2 points in the sky that are imaginary, but they're energetic, they are portals. These 2 portals do have an impact on our psyche, on our level of consciousness. Okay. So this is a good thing. That's what you really need to hear in this. This is a good thing to have this full moon lunar eclipse with the North Node being in Pisces because of what Pisces represents. Pisces in general represents our ability to take all of the fragments, all the different pieces, and bring them into a whole to create something more, to create something new, to go beyond. Pisces are the dreamers, we're the dreamscapists. We're able to say, this doesn't feel good enough. Let me think of something better. Yeah, that's what Pisces do. So to have this energy going on with Pisces and Pisces North Node, it's a very, very powerful thing about, again, us sorting out the fact that there are new possibilities and, again, the balance, our worldly duties, what we have to do here in the third dimension, and with our higher purpose, our higher timeline, our fourth and fifth dimensional, realities. And, this new earth consciousness that we're in, this age of Aquarius, is really about that. It is about, we can't just live our lives like the third dimension is the only thing that is happening and the only thing that matters. That will get you into a lot of trouble right now, folks. Because right now, the 3D is all about despair. It's all about, oh my God, we're all going to be dead. We're all going to die. It's the end of the earth. But that's not true. That's not true. And yes, there are things that are coming to a close, but we're at a time where we're supposed to be dreaming a better world to live. Yeah, we're supposed to be dreaming the new earth and learning how to live it, learning how to put it into the 3D reality. That's why I keep saying to you, what we're going through right now as a collective on this planet is an inside out job. You've got to dream. So, this energy that has come through with this eclipse is also designed to support us in that. Pisces is where our higher self tries to connect with us through symbols and signs. A dream you can't shake, a chance encounter that rings like a bell, a longing you can't translate into ordinary life. So, getting those nudges, getting that peak, 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 the universe talking to you, things are happening for a reason. Yeah, and it does matter. It truly does matter. So here's some more about these nodes. At the lunar eclipse in Pisces, don't dismiss seemingly unrelated inputs. If an image or idea keeps knocking, keep looking at it. And don't be overwhelmed by the abstract, impossible Piscean dream. Just because it can't exist as is in concrete form right now doesn't mean it can't inspire a kindred form, something you can actually design, build, and live in the Virgo world. Listen for the underlying message that runs through a weird dream, an overheard phrase, a random headline, or a chance encounter. When these threads repeat, you're being guided toward the next piece of your story. At this North Node lunar eclipse in Pisces, trust the dream enough to follow its thread and trust yourself enough to let the life you live in secret spill over into the one you live in. Wow. And that's from Astro Butterfly. Again, so powerful, such a lovely, lovely message. Yeah. And again, folks, you don't have to understand all of this right now. Some of you do, I know it, but some of you, if it's going over your head, that's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. Just look at the picture. The picture will help you. It'll translate it into you. It's an energetic that this is really about. I want you to pick up on this energy of hope, of faith, of the fact that the way the universe works is to heal, grow, and evolve. And that's what's really going on right now. That's what you're a part of. Absolutely. Now, aspects to this full moon lunar eclipse in Pisces, meaning what planets are also adding to the party, shifting and shaping things. And we've got two planets, that's Jupiter and, yeah, Mercury. So this full moon eclipse forms an auspicious, which means a good trine to Jupiter at 19 degrees Cancer, a reminder that we have what it takes, that all the resources we need are within reach. Jupiter says perhaps the Piscean longing is not just a dream. Perhaps it's the next reality, quietly incubating, ready to surface when the time is right. Wow. Delicious, delicious. And then Mercury, which is at 10 degrees Virgo, opposing the eclipse. Okay, so this is an opposition energy, but it adds discernment. Data can inform us or confuse us. Some facts are just clever reasons to stay exactly where you are. Others are spec sheets for what the dream could look like in real terms. This questioning, self doubting Mercury opposite eclipse energy is not meant to stop us from moving forward. It's meant to make sure we read the signs so what we build matches what we mean. Yes. How wonderful. I just got to take a breath. Got to take a breath. This a lot. This is a lot. This is really huge energetically. And I'm going to remind you of another really huge aspect that's going on when I finish. We got 2 more days to get through. Um, because it is so powerful. I'm going to have to go lay down after this. I really am. Because even just talking about this, I've been working with this like for a week, right? Reading, researching, finding, looking up, pulling this, pulling that. That in itself just has me rewiring. But just presenting this to you, I'm just feeling it like, oh my God, this is huge. This is really huge. And it's a good huge. Like it's the kind of huge where you can feel this high vibration, like right now, I feel like I'm just plugged into the higher timeline, to the higher source, to the galactic, federation, because it's that important and it's that big. Yeah, it really is. One more sip of water. Mm. And for those of you who are hanging in there for the whole thing, thank you. Um, and for everyone, and I need to mention this every time, I will put timestamps, chapters into this video. I ain't doing it tomorrow, but I'll try to get it done by Tuesday so that you can go back to a specific day or an aspect and just hear the information again more easily. Also, I always leave in the description box the references to the astrologers that I am using and quoting. So if you want to get even more information about a particular thing, those websites will be there for you to click on. Yeah. Yeah. All in the description box. So, all right. I think that may be it. Yes. Now we go on because that today energy is really powerful. But let's see what happens next Friday. Isn't that wonderful? The universe is giving us a whole week to digest all this and take it in. Absolutely. Daphne says, thank God all resources are at reach. Yes, it is all inside of us. It's all inside of us. This is an inside out job. We have to believe that. And this energy is really helping with that. So, coming up this Friday, the 12th, we have two aspects that are flow aspects. Woohoo! One is the sun in Virgo sextiling Jupiter in Cancer. And a sextile energy is, it's really um a flow energy, but you get to choose with it, not like a trine. Trine really just like it'll, it's like the bubble be putting around you, but you have to choose the bubble with a sextile. So you get two chances on Friday. One is this uplifting aspect brings a wave of good luck our way today. It's a perfect time to kick off new projects and pursue your goals. Nothing can hold you back now. Yeah. And sometimes pursuing a project may just be you telling yourself, I'm going to do that, you know, and writing it down or setting an intention, Um, just remember that in little ways we can initiate something once we've gotten the go ahead. So this is a delicious, beautiful, beautiful energy. And on the same day, another sextile with Jupiter in Cancer, this time with Mercury in Virgo. This aspect supports our ability to bridge logic and intuition and motivates us to learn, ask questions, and strive to deepen our understanding of ourselves and life. Today is ideal for sharing your thoughts thanks to the harmonious blend of intellect and emotions. I love it. It's a great time to provide solutions to others' challenges and offer insightful advice. Very wonderful. Very, very cool. Yeah. Juanito's giving me a validation about it's a lot, yeah, about this energy happening today. So that's why it's so nice that on Friday, by Friday, we get this lovely 2 doses of good flow energy where we get to choose. We get to choose how we want to move forward. Yeah, it's just sweet. Love Jupiter in Cancer. It's just great stuff. And then we go to Saturday, the 13th, and we have the Mercury Cazimi. Yeah. And I'll give you some more about that and what a Cazimi is. So on September 13th, 2025, Mercury conjuncts the Sun at 20 degrees in Virgo. This transit is like the full moon, or better said, the full Mercury of the current Mercury cycle, a culmination point bringing deep insight and clarity. Mercury is the messenger of the gods, remember, the deliverer of important messages, and the sun is our life purpose. So whenever the sun conjuncts Mercury, we receive a message about who we are and what our purpose is. Mercury conjunct sun messages are always meaningful. And if a message keeps repeating, as often happens during the Mercury transits, embrace it. Woohoo! Yeah, love, love, love this. Now, here's what the Cazimi is about. Mercury in the heart of the sun, Cazimi time again. Yeah. It is in the heart of the sun that a planet is infused with life-giving vitality, potency, and new beginnings. Purified by the sun's inner temple, new truths are revealed, perspectives are expanded, and new seeds are planted. A superior conjunction is when a forward moving planet, which Mercury is right now, meets up with the sun. Every planet has its moment with the sun each year. Even the moon conjuncts the sun at 1 degree, and this Cazimi is considered a new moon. Now, during 2025, Mercury, with its quick movement that never strays too far from the sun, has an opportune rich 5 Cazimis. Hear that? 5 Cazimis. 5 times that is going to be like just life giving vitality and new beginnings. It's been doing it. We're up to number 4 right now. While Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, Chiron, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto each had only one heart of the sun this year. They only went there just once. On September 13th, Mercury crosses the sun in Virgo, forming what is known as a Cazimi. New ideas and fresh insights could emerge. And on this date, we could finally access the clarity we are seeking. This analytical aspect can help you map out your future, making it a great day for problem solving and untangling tricky situations. You've got this. Yeah. And as I said, during 2025, Mercury, with its quick movement, strays that doesn't stray too far from the sun, has an opportune, rich 5 Cazimi. And the final Cazimi for Mercury is November the 20th. And that's when it will be retrograde. So it won't be a major conjunction. It won't be a superior injunction. They call it inferior. But it'll be with Scorpio. So that should be very interesting. Yeah, absolutely. And also on this same day, on the 13th, we get Vesta, the brightest and largest asteroid in the sky, named for the Vestal Virgins in ancient Rome. She's going to be entering Sagittarius. She's just coming out of Scorpio. And just as a reminder, the Vestal Virgins were the children that were taken and about age 6. And their job was to make sure that the fires in the temples were not going out. If it went out, they got beat. They had to do that for a 30-year period, upon which, if they survived, they were freed and they could answer to no man, which meant they could get married or they didn't get married, they were fine. And this gave them a unique status in Roman times, and it's why the term virgin was often used to describe a woman who belonged to herself. In other words, they got personal sovereignty. So Vesta helped to open 2025 when she moved into Scorpio on January the 1st. representing our fire within that empowers us to achieve our sacred contracts with home and family. For the next several weeks, she inspires us to tap into our inner wanderer as curiosity guides us toward new experiences, new adventures, and a sense of balance amidst the busyness of our life. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting because, Saturn, Sagittarius is all about adventure, new direction, and, Vesta being like that fire within as it relates to home and family, that there could be some movement, some expansion, some shifting going on. Yeah. And it'll be for the best. So this will be until November the 15th. Ashe. And then last but not least, Monday the 15th, we have Venus in Leo still, and she will be sextiling Mars in Libra. This is a sextile, so again, you can choose it, a harmonious aspect that creates the perfect conditions for successful negotiations, compromises, and bold declarations of desire. Wow. It's the ideal moment to express your needs and effortlessly manifest what you want. Wow. Isn't that delicious? Isn't that just wonderful to know? 15th gives us this fabulous aspect with Venus still in Leo. Love it. And I wanted to remind you about this aspect that will be going on all the way into 2028. And it's called the Cosmic Bouquet by Astro Butterfly, but it is Uranus in Gemini aspecting with Neptune in Aries, retrograding. Yeah. And here's a little bit reminder about that beautiful cosmic bouquet. She says, remember the classic scene in rom-coms when the bride tosses a bouquet, everyone's full of excitement and anticipation. It's a mix of taking a chance and a symbolic promise of good luck. The bouquet means something wonderful could be headed your way. That's exactly what Uranus sextile Neptune feels like, as if the universe itself is tossing you a cosmic bouquet, inviting you to catch your own stroke of good fortune. With Neptune sextile Uranus, it really feels like the universe is on our side, setting up little sparks of possibility, just waiting for us to reach out and grab them. And as I said, this beautiful aspect will be occurring over the next 2 years as Neptune moves in and out of retrograde. But when it opened up, it was retrograde. So that means energy's held a little more for us. But so important, folks, for us to know that, that the universe really is working on our behalf. Absolutely. And there you have it. Wow, 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 and more wow. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of energy. Yeah, it is good energy. Just plug for my book and a plug for this book by Marlene Kai Bell. Uh, Our hard copies are available now, and you can find them on our website, www.reclaimthesacredself.com. This is specifically for women to help them really reclaim their sacredness. And this time, we really need that. Yeah, we need that. Daphne says, wow, girl, I'm with you. Like, whew, that's a lot. That's a lot from this first half of this month. You are so welcome. Juanita says thank you. Yeah. So I'm gonna go keep watering myself. I'm gonna go get myself horizontal and let this energy just keep flowing through. Again, thank you for hanging in there. It's been over an hour, but I just needed to take my time and I needed to get out all of this information to you. it was interesting because when I came across the Saturn return information, I was like, "Oh, I don't need to share that," you know. And then I'm having a conversation with somebody on the phone, and that came up, and I was like, "Okay, okay, I need to do it. I need to do it. We need to understand that." So hopefully this all helps. Again, I will get out the chapters and the timestamps for you so you can go back more easily and read it over. Remember, the energy of an eclipse lasts more than a day. That portal opened and all this energy is coming through. We have another eclipse on the 21st. It will be a partial solar eclipse. But still, the time in between eclipses is very, very powerful. So sit back, buckle up, go on the ride, go on the journey, trusting that, cosmic bouquet, the universe has your back. Thank you so much again. And I look forward to talking with you and providing you some more information. I'll be back for the second half of this month next Sunday. But in the meantime, take good care of yourself, keep your immune system strong, keep your mask handy, and really trust that things are going to get better. We're going to get through this. Yes, yes, and more yes. Daphne says, thank you. You're so welcome, my dear. All right, darlings. Good night now. Bye bye. You're welcome, Janice.